Yeah, it's right around 5:30 a.m. on Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. I'm sitting here at this lovely little workstation that I set up a few days ago after having had this folding table stuck in a corner for the last few years just to save some space. The table does take up a lot of space, but I also need it to get stuff done. And for the last 2.5 hours, I've been sitting here basically hammering out a legal document that I am required to provide to the landlord's legal team because the landlord is claiming stuff against my tenancy that is false. So back in February and March of 2022, Boston's Inspectional Services Department Housing Division took my landlord to court and issued code violations against the landlord for excessive heat and then no heat in this unit that the landlord was refusing to address. That was in March of 2022. 3.5 months later, in July of 2022, the Greenville Group and their attorney issued a retaliatory legal case against my tenancy that was false and therefore defamatory. They claimed that I was basically chasing down black men in the streets with my camera, even though I never approached anyone and basically stayed the hell away from them because I had been physically assaulted at that point by 5 male tenants of the Greenville Group over the last few years that required that I go to court and obtain restraining orders against 5 of the Greenville Group's male tenants and one of their employees for harassment. I mean, these guys are a bunch of psycho creeps. I really don't care what color anybody is, but when somebody refuses to leave me alone and threatens to kill me and calls me names and tells everyone I'm a hooker, then I have the right to go to court and get a restraining order against them. Anybody would do that. It has nothing to do with skin color. However, the Greenville Group tried to make it about skin color by claiming that 6 male tenants had obtained restraining orders against me, and that all these male tenants were African American, therefore I was being racist towards them. No. I basically avoid any and all interactions with the male tenants of this building complex, regardless of color, because they're all behaviorally disturbed, and a large number of them are actually sex offenders. But the Greenville Group and their attorney did not try to fact check this false premise. I think maybe they just made it up themselves. I don't know. It's completely false. It's verifiably completely false. And not once in my entire life have I ever been charged with a crime, and not once in my entire life have I ever had anyone obtain a restraining order against me or even try to get a restraining order against me. Uh, except for an ex. Was there? No, not even an ex-boyfriend. Nope. Back in the 90s, one of the ex-boyfriends that I lived with was constantly like throwing things out of my window, and I went to the police and filed a report against him. And I think, did he file a report against me because I was like leaving him angry voicemails? I don't remember. No, it's not even that. So no, there was no restraining order ever filed against me, or even did anybody ever try to file a restraining order against me. But the Greenville Group didn't really care about this last July, and they moved forward with this legal case against my tenancy that was completely false. It was defamatory because it was based on a bunch of lies, and it was retaliatory because it was filed just 3.5 months after Boston's Inspectional Services had issued citations to the landlord and taken the landlord to court for complaints that I had filed against the landlord for excessive heat in this unit. So the Greenville Group then refused to accept any and all rental payments that I tried to give them for all of the rent that was owed. They flat out refused all rental payments for just about an entire year because they said that, they were not obligated to accept rent from me, and that, it was not their duty to accept rent. Then they decided that I did owe them rent, and then they took me to court for owing them rent after they had spent almost an entire year refusing that rent. So that's where we are right now. And so in spite of the fact that, this has nothing to do with me and everything to do with the landlord's own bad business decisions and their prejudice towards me, or maybe towards just females in general, I have to provide them with a legal response to their claims. So I've been working on this legal response for the last 2.5 hours. I've been hammering it out. I'm legally blind, so I have to have a black background with white lettering on my phone, and I can't use a laptop because I can't see anything on a white screen. But the entire time that I've been sitting here for the last 2.5 hours, someone has been once again using some type of remote capacity electronic assault device to zap me. And the zapping is so specific that every single time I have started a new paragraph to address a new issue in the landlord's attorney's request for information, I started getting somehow remote tasered by the same psychopath, psychotic stalker, sex offender, cyber criminal, according to the Greenville group, who can, quote, hack into anything. She is so good. She can, quote, get into anything, according to Oleg Eliseyev of the Greenville group. She has been not just accessing the document that I've been working on because it's been corrupted and I can't save it. So that's weird. But every other document that I've worked on this phone using the same app is perfectly fine. But now this one document that I've been working on is corrupted. So not only has she tampered with that document that basically assists me in defending myself against the landlord, but she has also been using some type of remote capacity electronic assault device, something like a remote controlled stun gun, something like a remote capacity taser, to zap me while I've been sitting at this table using one cell phone. And the cell phone is not even plugged in. And no, I do not have a Wi-Fi router, so it's not like my router is suddenly emitting, off the charts levels of electromagnetic frequency and zapping people in the area. No, this is something that is very deliberate, and it keeps happening when there's someone behind the wall of that bathroom right there, which is maybe 8 feet from where I'm sitting. There's a vacant, permanently empty bathroom located directly behind this wall of a large unit with its own bathroom that recently housed and previously housed this same sex offender, psychopath, and cyber criminal named Jasmine Irizarry, who Oleg Eliseyev of the Greenville group has bragged to me is a really talented hacker who can, quote, hack into anything. She's also, according to other employees of the Greenville group, referred to as their, quote, surveillance expert, meaning she can see what I do in here. And because I have personally witnessed her picking the lock to my unit on multiple occasions over the last 9 years that she lived in the unit behind this wall, she was moved out about a year ago, but continues to be housed in this building, then, you do the math and it all adds up. This psychopath who hacks into my devices and tampers with documents and emails that I send that pertain to the landlord, she is also zapping me deliberately and very harmfully whenever I start a new paragraph on the document that I'm working on to defend myself against the landlord in court. And as I've mentioned in multiple prior videos, a lot of the emails that I've sent documenting the landlord's dysfunction and malfunction to various agencies, such as the housing court, such as local law enforcement, such as, Metro Housing Boston or RAFT, those emails disappear or they get deleted or they never get delivered or attachments get deleted or there's some kind of electronic interference with a lot of the material that I try to send about the landlord to agencies and to the courts. Isn't that a strange coincidence that the same person that the Greenville group keeps bragging to me about as being a really talented hacker is right now electronically assaulting me while I'm sitting here quietly working on a document that would help me defend myself against them legally. And then she is somehow corrupting the document itself on my device while I'm working on it so that it has like a big red flag on it. Hold on. Yeah, okay, here we go. So here's the document. It has like a big red warning sign on this. I've never, ever seen this type of a warning sign on any document that I've ever worked on using this app. And I've been using this app for 2.5 years now. And there's also this lovely notice here saying that there's a problem with the document and that it can't be saved. Wow, what a strange coincidence, huh? But none of these other documents here, also, some of which pertain to the landlord, but a number of which don't, are fine. It's just the one that I have to provide to the court under legal obligation in a few days that has suddenly been, corrupted and can't be saved. So what does this say right here? Hold on, I have to make it bigger. I can't see. Yeah. Okay. So this document is the one I've been working on for the last 2.5 hours. It suddenly has a warning sign on it, a warning icon, which I've never seen before, even though I've been using this app to work on documents for 2.5 years now. And I need to use this app because I'm legally blind. I can't see anything that's on a white background. And I had to enlarge this to be able to see what the writing is. There is an issue with one or more of your notes. Open the note with the warning icon to see what the issue is. Yeah, so this is the one I've been working on for 2.5 hours while the psychopath, sex offender, and cyber criminal, who obviously is working for the Greenville Group, has been electronically zapping me using some type of electronic assault device, some type of remote capacity electronic assault device, while I've been sitting here quietly working on this document using nothing but a cell phone. So it's not like I'm hooked up to an electrical outlet and the electrical outlet is malfunctioning and I'm getting electrocuted or getting electronically zapped from the electricity. This is a cell phone that does not emit a lot of radiation. Cell phones do emit EMF radiation. All cell phones emit electromagnetic radiation. That should not be enough to literally zap me and make me feel like I'm being electrocuted. That's been happening nonstop while I've been working on this document for the last 2.5 hours. And now the document is corrupted and can't be saved. And it's missing, looks like can't even open it. So again, I keep saying that the Greenville Group is using the services of a cyber criminal to electronically interfere with my communications and documents where the Greenville Group is concerned and where their illegal activities and behaviors are concerned. And mysteriously, dozens of emails and documents and attachments that I've tried to send or work on or create over the last couple of years pertaining to the Greenville Group have been corrupted or have been deleted, or you suddenly get this issue where you can't save it, or it's suddenly lost or can't be attached, or you send emails don't get received, etc., etc. So does Greenville Group use the services of a cyber criminal to engage in some very illegal interference activities towards people who they have a legal situation with and who obviously they're trying to prevent from being able to, legally challenge their case? Obviously, because this has been happening over the last 2.5 hours. And the document that I worked on for 2.5 hours is now unusable. So, and then there has been someone electronically zapping me while I've been working on this document. And she does this. It's Jasmine Arizari. She's the cyber criminal, psychopath, sex offender, and psychotic stalker whose psychosis the Greenville Group is harnessing for their own nefarious and illegal purposes. She has been zapping me nonstop for the last 2.5 years now using the same type of device that she's using now. And because the wall of her former bathroom where she likes to sit for hours at a time is located just 8 feet or so behind me, then, whatever device she's using to electronically assault me. Did you just hear that smack? Somebody just smacked that wall. That was just a loud smack against that wall. She likes to let me know that she's right there. And there's also been somebody smoking. I mean, I'm so used to smelling smoke from that bathroom now. It's like I don't even notice it anymore. But yeah, there's been a lot of marijuana smoke coming from behind that wall throughout the night. The marijuana smoke, the electronic assault using some type of remote controlled stun gun, and the hacking all go together, right? That's the same psychopath and career criminal, psycho stalker, sex offender, and hacker that the Greenville Group has been sponsoring in the unit directly behind this wall for 10 years now. I'm not sure why they moved her out of that unit. I mean, it's vacant and empty, presumably so that she can keep using it, so she can harass me at close range, such as smoking directly behind that wall and filling that corner right there with, you know, intense and overpowering marijuana smoke and using some type of remote capacity stun gun device and smacking the wall like she just did now. Somebody hit that wall. It was a really loud smack, but I was talking and you probably can't hear it on the phone. And then interfering with the functioning of my electronics. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not making this up. This is what's been happening for 2.5 hours now while I've been quietly sitting here working on a document that is, you know, very important and that now somehow has been mysteriously and very conveniently corrupted. And there's a problem with it, according to the app. And I've used this app for 2 years, never had an issue, never ever saw this warning icon, never ever got a warning like this. It's just very convenient that this is the one document that gets corrupted, and it's the one that I need to present to the court to counterclaim the landlord's false claims against me. So you figure that one out.